So unfortunately, most of you guys are never gonna make $10,000 a month or more. And the real truth behind it is that most people who try to start up businesses and your social media marketing agency never really even get past 3 or even 5K a month if you're lucky. And I wanted to stop all that. I wanted to share my true experiences on just starting my SMA journey from literally from scratch, like knowing nothing about marketing, to now have generated over $1 million in net profit now. And I see a lot of people just showing up on YouTube every day, and I guess you can refer to them as gurus. I don't think they mean any harm behind what it is that the information that they're giving out. But the truth is that a lot of these people who are popping up on YouTube and sharing how to grow your agency and things like that, I've noticed that a lot of them are in the same boat as you. And it's funny because how can someone be given advice on growing your agency when they've never even scaled their own agency? It's funny because, I saw this guy, he was running Instagram ads for like his coaching program. And, I just wanted to see what the automation was like. And I wanted to see what the back end looks like. Okay, what happens if I reply or interact with this Instagram ad? What's gonna happen? And sure enough, the guy responded to me and said, hey, you know what? I used to watch your YouTube channel when I first started out, and when he first started as a beginner and to wherever he's at now. But I mean, I seen his numbers, and his numbers with an agency is not past 10K a month with clients. And I've seen this, unfortunately, like it's a very normal thing in the agency world, I guess. And that's why I guess it has a bad rep to it. And so I wanted to just kind of give you guys straight on exactly what needs to be done, right? And so most of you guys are complaining like, hey, I started my SMA, or maybe you haven't started your SMA, but you are struggling to get your first client, maybe your second or third client, or maybe you're struggling to keep your clients, right? The other day I heard someone said, hey, my buddy, he runs a 100K a month agency. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing, right? Like my agency does not do $100,000 a month. And he told me that he's making 100K a month, but $90,000 of that 100K is going towards ad spend. So he's spending about $90,000 per month to make $100,000 in revenue. So that pretty much leaves you with about $10,000 a month, which is still great. Don't get me wrong. It's still really, really good to, be able to hit your 10K a month, but don't be fooled by agency or people in general. But I'm going to refer to people who's in the SMA agency game. Don't be fooled by people who are, you see it all the time, 18, 19, 20-year-olds making 100K a month, and you're like, I'm 18, 19, 20, or I'm 25, or I'm 30, and I'm nowhere near that number. And these kids are saying, they're making 100K, 200K a month, whatever it is, whatever number it is, but how much are they really taking home? You see, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. So if you're making 100K a month, but your net profit margin is only 10%, and you're only making 10K a month, you're kind of not being the whole truth in a way, right? Yes, your business is generating $100,000 a month. It's kind of like out of proportion, right? Like people are thinking that, oh, this guy makes $100,000 a month, but in reality, he's only making 10K a month. And this happens really often with most agencies, okay? So that's number one. You need to just get that out the way, that don't worry about making 10, 20, 30, 50, 100K, making $1 million a year, a month, or whatever the case may be. What I also notice is that a lot of you guys are just constantly searching for new information on YouTube as if something is just going to magically happen and your agency is just going to scale, right? So I was once there, and it's what's called analysis paralysis. And what happens is you're analyzing so much information, you're intaking so much information from everywhere that you could possibly get from, right? YouTube, Google, courses, paid courses, free courses, people on Facebook, people on Instagram ads, Facebook ads, people trying to DM you and say, hey, how's your agency going? How can I help you? Let's jump on a call. Right? I'm sure maybe some of you have heard of that before, and you just don't know which direction to go in. And so you get analysis paralysis because you have all this information now and you actually never get started. And I think it's important to gather as much information possible in order to move the needle. And that's really the most important part of running a business and starting any type of businesses is, yes, you need the fundamentals, you need the foundation information to get started, but there's not a whole lot of information that you need to really get the needle moving. And that's the most important part. A lot of people join courses, they never finish it. And even if they do finish it, they never take any action. They'll put it to the side. They'll try to get into more courses, more coaching programs, more information on YouTube, and really never take action. And so I want to tell you guys today is to just take action, right? As simple as that may sound. And just, you grow from failure, okay? And I believe that most people who are in that analysis paralysis stage and just trying to gather as much information as possible is because you are scared. You are scared of failure, right? And you just fear failure. You want all this information because you want to start up your business the right way. You want it to grow smoothly. You want to be able to get clients, sell clients, retain clients perfectly, okay? And just run a perfect business model and start making 10, 20, 30, 50K a month with your agency as fast as possible with the least amount of friction. And I'm here to tell you guys right now is that is the wrong way to go about it. The best way to go about it is actually don't look at any information at all. Stop watching YouTube, stop going on TikTok, Google, Facebook, courses, coaching program, looking for more information to grow your business. As a matter of fact, just stop all of that and just get started. Literally, all you need to do is put yourself out there and start talking to people. Start talking to potential clients and tell them what it is that you do. What is it that you offer? What is the service that you want to help them with, right? So for us, we are a Google Ads agency, and we help business owners grow their business by getting them new customers. So what we do is we use Google Ads to generate high quality leads that turns into customers for these business owners. And that is how we help them grow their business. And so when you're able to provide a service like that, where you're directly helping them grow their business and they can see that they are making a return on investment, then you can exchange that service for a fee. And I've been fortunate enough to make, close, over $1 million now within, I've been doing this for about 4 years now. And we cracked our first million. And then last year alone, we did over $500,000. So the snowball effect and just the exponential growth that the business has been going through is it's been trending every single year. And every single year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's growing and it's growing and it's growing. And so you just need to trust the process, all right? So going back to my point is that if you can actually just not look at any more information and just go into just start failing, honestly, that is how you learn. And that is the quickest way to move the needle, right? Because you're no longer in the stage of seeking new information. And now you're just going out there like, hey, let's get started. And that is exactly what I did. So when I first started, I didn't know what I was doing. For some of you guys that have heard of my story, I graduated from college. My family wanted me to become a doctor. So I was going to become a doctor, but I figured that wasn't the route for me. So I had no marketing background, no business background, no sales background. The only thing I knew was going to school, get good grades, work a 9 to 5, retire, save your money, and all that good stuff, right? And it wasn't for me, so I started this entrepreneur route from scratch. No skills, no background, literally just putting myself out there in the world. And what I would do is that I would go on Yelp and I would look up these niches. I would just look up whatever businesses I wanted to work with. I just pick up the phone and start dialing, just start calling them. Hey, I do Facebook ads. I saw you here and it looks like I can help you with your website or whatever it was, and obviously a ton of rejections happened and a lot of people just said no, right? And so I had to adjust. I'm like, okay, how do I get better at this? How do I get people to say yes? And at the time I wasn't confident. I couldn't get results. I didn't even know how to run Facebook ads because I've never ran Facebook ads for any of my clients. This was before I started Google Ads, right? I started doing Facebook ads, just like everybody else, Facebook ads, Instagram ads for businesses. And I'll tell you how we transitioned into Google. But eventually I'll say, all right, how do I get my first client? And I've made so many phone calls. My morale is down. I'm terrible at these calls. I'm like hanging up on myself sometimes. I couldn't get past the gatekeeper. And I was like, okay, how do I get my first client? How do I lower their guard and want to move forward with me? So I started offering free trials, and I would call up. I remember this one time I went to the gym. I saw like a doctor's booth set up, and I'm like, you know what? If they're out here, they probably need some marketing, right? They're probably interested in getting more customers. So I took down their number, and then I went home later that day. I called them up, and the doctor picked up, right? So prior to this, I was just trying to get through to the gatekeepers. Obviously the gatekeepers are, oh yeah, let me get your email. Yes, we'll get back to you. And obviously you know how that goes. They never get back to you. And the doctor was like, hey, you know, like, hello, this is Dr. Bazil or whatever his name was at the time. And I was like, hey, you know, I'm a student looking to grow my portfolio, and I saw your chiropractic booth at the gym. I was wondering if I could offer you a free trial in exchange for a testimonial so I can grow my, marketing portfolio. And he was like, hey, you know what, Jordan, I've been looking for someone just like you. Let me have my assistant call you back and we can set up a meeting. So we set up the meeting, offer the free trial, and I was so desperate at this point because I had been trying to get my first client for the longest time and just really get the ball rolling here, right? I just needed to get into this, start running Facebook ads and just get that. I just thought it was the quickest way to get things rolling. So I told the assistant, hey, not only will I offer you a free trial, but let me run your ads for free. Like, I'll pay for your ads. And who's gonna say no to that, right? So any company, any business you go to and you tell them, hey, let me run your marketing, I'll even pay for it, don't worry about it, in exchange for a testimonial. And obviously they said yes. We did the free trial. I got decent results. And a week later, I finally got to meet with the doctor. Doctor said, wow, Jordan, like we got some leads coming in. That's great. And you're a very honorable person because obviously no one really offers to pay for people's ads out here, right? So he wrote me up a check and he paid me for the ads that I had paid for him. And he signed me on. He was my first client. Ever was for $1,300. I still remember, I think it was like $1,217 to be exact or something like that. And that was my first check ever. Like my very, very first client ever. He was a local chiropractor, probably about 20 minutes from me. And I just thought, wow, like this is really possible. This is doable, right? So as time went on, like later on that month, I ran Facebook ads. I didn't really know how to do it. I didn't know how to get awesome results. And this thing called ad fatigue happened. This is where people get tired of seeing your ads. It's the same creative, the same copy or the offer. And people just get uninterested in your ads. So it stopped converting so well. And I didn't know what to do about that. Like I didn't know what was going on. And so surely enough, like this client didn't want to work forward with me anymore. So that really crushed me because I was just so happy on getting my first client, right? Getting paid about $1,200 to $1,300. And I'm at the highest of the highs, a true believer in SMMA, just to get shot right back down and start it back at square zero, right? Now it's because the client just dropped me. So I quickly learned, I was like, okay, I need to either get really good at Facebook ads or I need to figure out something else to be able to retain my clients. And that is the second issue that most agency owners run into is not being able to retain their existing clients. The first issue is being able to sign the first client, right? As a beginner, the biggest obstacle for you is going to be signing your first client. And then the second issue is retaining your clients. And so I'd figure out how to get my first client, just offering a bunch of free trials, got some bites and things like that, but I wasn't retaining anybody. And I talked to many agency owners, a lot of like my, people who are in my space that I'm close to. And, they're like, Jordan, like your client retention is really, really good. Like a lot of our clients, they'll stay on for maybe 1 month, 3 months, 6 months top. And I'll tell you, like today, like my very first client that I ever signed when I started my Google Ads agency is still a client with me today. And I started my agency like 4 years ago. He was a lawyer. I think we charged him about $1,500 a month or so. And we just never looked back. Right? So why did I transition into Google Ads? Okay, so number one, Facebook ads was sort of like that thing where every marketing agency owner was offering. And not only that, but if you're a lead generation company and you're trying to generate leads for businesses, chances are generating leads from Facebook and Instagram, the quality of those leads aren't that great. And let me tell you why. The intent of those leads that you're generating off Facebook and Instagram, they're not going on Facebook and Instagram with the intent of hiring a service, a lawyer, an electrician, a chiropractor, a plumber, or whatever it is, right? They're literally just going on Facebook scrolling mindlessly. And then they might see the ad and, oh, that sounds interesting. And they'll fill out a contact form and forget about it, right? They're not really serious about it. And so one day I was like shooting around with my cousin. We're playing basketball. I was telling him like, hey, try and grow my agency. I'm, some clients here and there, but no one's really like staying on. Like I'm not really able to get past that like 3 to 5K month so I can like quit my job, right? Because at the end of the day, like we all want the same thing. So financial, time, and location freedom. And we can't do that by having a job. But I was telling my cousin this, and he was like, you know what? I know a guy who kind of does something similar. I think he does like Google ads for lawyers or something. Maybe you should talk to him. So I was like, all right, I got his information down, reached out to him on I texted him or Facebook, and he was like, hey, you know what? I'm always willing to help people out. I don't do this anymore, but just take me out to lunch and I'll teach you everything I know. So he gave me like a Google ads course that he was enrolled in. And then that Google ads course was about running Google ads for lawyers. And mind you, like I don't know anything about the law. I don't know anything about lawyers. I don't know their lingo. I just know that they're really professional. And I just remember now, like I'm trying to run Google ads for lawyers. And, I did the same thing, offering free trials and stuff like that. And, they would tell me to come to their office, meet them. And I just remember sitting in the lobby as if I'm showing up for like some type of interview and trying to sell myself to get them to, pay for my services. And I was so nervous because who am I, right? At the time I was like maybe 24, 25, 26 years. When I first started, I was like 24, 25 years old. And I was just, so many limiting beliefs inside of me. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just like this young kid, 24, 25. Like I'm not credible. Like I'm talking to real professionals, people with, lawyer degrees or whatever it's called, right? And there's big fancy offices. Like I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just this kid. I got my nice button-up shirt. I have my iPad with me with the presentation on it, ready to present something, right? And I was just so nervous. And so I had to overcome that. I had to figure out how to sell. And obviously I wasn't good at it. I was terrible. I didn't close any of those deals, making those presentations to these lawyers. And that just goes back to, what I'm trying to share with you guys is that you don't need all the information. You don't need to take a sales course to be a good salesperson. You don't need to take more Facebook ads. You don't need to, look up more YouTube videos on how to book appointments and close those appointments. Just start talking to people. Just put yourself out there. And I know it's going to be really, really uncomfortable, but it's always going to be like that. No matter how many courses you take, you're going to be uncomfortable. The best way to go about it is put yourself out there, throw yourself out the ocean, and then learn how to swim. That's option number one. Option number two is you can get someone else to do it for you, right?
Helps me.
And for me, I did everything by myself. So I literally learned all the skills that I need to do from scratch. And that's why, I put together my course. I put like so much effort and work into my plug and play agency course. And it literally teaches you all the skills that you need to know in order to grow your agency. And you can actually learn directly from the person himself who started from zero and grew his agency. So you'll learn the Google ads, the landing page, how to get clients, how to sell clients, how to book appointments, how to delegate the team, and all that good stuff. But, so step one, you can do it yourself, but let's just say you're not good at it, right? Let's just say maybe you're not good at the fulfillment, getting results, or maybe you're not good at the sales, or maybe you're not good at booking appointments, getting more people to be interested in your services. Option number two is you can just get someone to do it for you. Hire somebody, partner with somebody, right? I have a Facebook group, a community, over 10,000 members now. It's been around for 4 years. Go in there and just start talking to people, partner with people, and make connections, and find somebody who's good at what you're not good at. Find strengths in others. And then so that way you can focus on your own strength. That would probably speed up the process of from you getting from 0 to 10K a month. But it's up to you. Obviously, having a partner is great, but that profit margin is going to be low. Obviously, it's going to be 50-50 or however you guys decide to do it. And then just accountability too, right? So another thing with having a partner is making sure that both sides are accountable. A lot of times when you have partners, you guys tend to start relying on each other to get things done. So you really got to make sure that both people are motivated and have a clear plan of action. Like, hey, these are your tasks. This is what I'm going to do. And you guys both need to just excel at your tasks. Because I've had partners in the past and, we start relying on each other. We actually don't ever get anything done. So having partners could be difficult, but I like to move by myself, and I feel like I can just move really quick that way. And once you're at a certain point where you need team members in order to take yourself even further, that's where you start hiring a team, right? And what you could do is start hiring virtual assistants overseas for $3 an hour from the Philippines, or these other countries where your currency is worth a lot more. And so that's how you're gonna be able to scale your agency. But going back, guys, so most of you guys are probably not even gonna watch this video fully through or even take my advice on this stuff. But if you want to grow your agency, if you want to grow in business to whatever amount it is that you want to do, you need to take action and stop just having analysis paralysis. I have a buddy of mine, he's a really good guy. And he texts me probably like once a month, maybe once or twice a month, just telling me how sick he is of his job. And he's like, man, I gotta start this SMMA thing. I see what you're doing and I just gotta get going, man. Like, I don't wanna work my job. And he texts me this literally 1 to 2 times per month. And I don't have anything against the guy because he's a really good guy. He's a buddy of mine and I like him and stuff like that. But how many of you guys are in that same boat? How many of you guys have been planning or saying or talking about growing your agency? And then just compare that to how much work have you actually put in? And I'm not talking about work as in the sense of research, right? Scrolling on TikTok for advice, looking on Instagram, Facebook for advice, going on YouTube and Googling and buying more courses for information. Those I don't really count as action. Counting as action is getting that information and putting that to use. And then telling me that, hey, you know what? I made like 50 phone calls today to business owners and like 46 of them said they're not interested, but hey, like 3 of them said, call me back. Like, that's what I want to hear. That's what I love about people. And that's how I know if someone is serious or not serious, is if you take action. And I don't care about your failures. Like, that's not what I judge you off of, right? I would never tell someone who's at the gym working out that they're not doing a good job, right? Because they're there taking action. Like, they're not on YouTube looking up fitness diet programs, but they're actually at the gym working out. You see what I'm saying? So I would never judge a person, even if they're like unfit at the gym. I would never judge a person off of their failures. If you tell me, Jordan, I sent out 10,000, 1,000 emails this month and like no one replied, like that right there is action. And I want you to understand that that's perfectly okay if you did all that you could do and you got 0 results from it, right? And that I deem as a successful step towards your goal. Because yes, you did all this work and got nothing out of it, but now you can think about, how can I make it better? Why? Ask why. Why did I send out 1,000 emails and no one replied to me? Why did I make 50 phone calls today and no one was interested? Ask why. And from there, you will find your answers, okay? So you will find your answer, but the only way you can even get to that point is when you're actually doing it. So that is the harsh truth, guys, of being able to grow your agency. And I wanted to make these videos, just making it a little bit more raw, just more uncut and more personable. And, hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully you guys are, can really take this like gem, because I'll tell you guys, it is totally worth it. I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't go back and change any of those struggles. Like, I enjoy telling my struggles because it just makes your story so much better. I want you to imagine your life as a movie. If you were just born into a rich family and you just have everything, your life is going to be boring. You can be born into a rich family, have all the yachts, have all the girls, have all the cars, have all the money, but your life is going to be boring. And as a matter of fact, a fair amount of people who who are born into that deal with depression and suicides, you know? And so think of your life as a movie, right? You need to go through these struggles. You need to overcome these struggles. Like, become the main character in your movie. Finally, take accountability for yourself and be the main character in your movie. Put yourself out there. Yes, you're gonna fail. Yes, you're gonna struggle. Yes, you're gonna feel nervous. But the other side, once you get past through that little threshold, your movie just gets so much better. And I'll tell you guys, like, you know, I love to tell the struggle stories because that's what makes you a better person, a more well-rounded person. And so many people fear putting themselves out there and, you know, feel embarrassed. I remember, you know, like my friends, like I saw their the group chat they were in, you know, my friend had showed me like this group chat. And these people that I have been talking to, I've known them since, you know, middle school. They were making fun of me for like trying, you know? Like I built my website for my digital marketing agency. Obviously it looked crappy. And they were making fun of it. Like I had my like picture on there. It was like a bad picture of me. I was like a selfie. It just wasn't like the most attractive photo of me. And I was literally getting clowned in this group chat by my like friends, acquaintances, whatever. And you know, it made me feel pretty bad. It made me feel pretty shitty about it. But I didn't let that stop me though. I used that as like fire to keep going, because those people that were in that group chat laughing at me, guess where they're at? Like they're not financially where, I'm sure they're not financially where they want to be. They don't have that time and location freedom like I do. And I went through all that embarrassment to get to where I am. So like, what's stopping you guys? What's stopping you? Don't be afraid to be embarrassed. Like, put yourself out there and just get to work, you know? Like I said, just take action. It's not gonna look good the first time. It's not gonna look good the 5th or the 10th time. But if you just keep moving that needle forward, if you just keep moving forward, once you get to this other side and you're making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60K a month with high profit margins like we do. And I'll be honest with you guys, we do about 50 to 60K a month with our agency. Our profit margin, relatively pretty high compared to most agency owners. We're about 70 to 75% profit margin. The profit margin is there, I'm telling you guys that. And to be honest with you guys, like there's levels to it, right? So, you know, obviously everybody's goal is to make 10K a month. At 10K a month, you know, that's your first goal. You're gonna feel happy. 10K a month, you're onto something, right? You figured out something, it works. Something is working. And I'm talking about 10K with at least like 80% net profit, okay? I'm not talking about making 10K and only taking home like 1, 2, 3K a month. I'm talking about like, if you're making 10K, maybe with some fees and stuff like that, you're doing about 7 to 8K net profit. You're gonna feel good, right? That's about $100,000 a month, and your run rate, if you're at 8K a month, and you're gonna feel good. You're gonna hit that milestone. You're gonna feel real good about it, but you're gonna realize 10K a month ain't shit. It's not that much, to be honest. You'll be able to do some stuff, you know, like be a little bit more comfortable, maybe get like your own place, maybe, you know, go grocery shopping and things like that. But you're not like living, you know what I mean? You're not living. Once you're at about 20K a month, you're a little bit more comfortable, right? You can get your own like nice car. You can start, you know, maybe do some vacations here and there. You can start taking your family out and treating out your family. You can start providing a little bit more, have your own place, maybe upgrade your place. You know, you can start living pretty nice. I think at 20K a month for most people, like you should be solid, living like a regular life. Still regular life, like you're not super balling, but you're living a decent life, you know, like financial, time, location, freedom. I think 20K a month, you know, you'll be at about 240K, about $250,000 a year. And at that price, you're pretty good. Once you're at 30, 40, 50K a month, now, you know, I think you're gonna be pretty good as far as everything is just amplified a little bit more. If you want to get a Lamborghini, you can get a Lamborghini. If you want to start going on more vacations, you can go on more vacation. You can definitely provide more. Everything, obviously it varies for everybody. I'm just talking about like the averages. For me, you know, obviously like some people are going to, you know, spend more than others. Some people want to live more of a lavish lifestyle and things like that. But just averagely speaking here, 30, 40, 50K, you're good. And I'm talking about like net profit margin is still high, okay? When I'm talking these numbers, I'm not saying like 20% net profit margins, which is what most agencies owners do. I'm talking about net profit, okay? So once you're at 30, 40, 50K, you know, you're pretty solid, but there's gonna be more fires to put out, I'll say. I think that stress level comes up a little bit because now once you're at that number, you have more team members, you have more people that you gotta take care of, you have to communicate with more people, you have more people that rely on you, you're probably working with more clients. And so every single day there's gonna be some sort of fire that you need to put out. And you know, you're really just a problem solver. Every single day you're a problem solver. You're a fireman because there's fires and you just gotta go and put those fires away. So I know this video is getting long, but I just wanted to drop a lot of like just insight on the agency game, because I'm seeing, you know, a lot of YouTube channels are popping up, and I'm not saying everybody doesn't know what they're doing or they're not being the whole truth about it, but I just wanted to make you guys aware of it. And I wanted to share my story with you guys, and hopefully it would be something to help you grow your agency. So I have a lot of resources. I'm gonna leave all those in the description, in the bio. And let me know if you guys like this more of a raw, uncut, just a more as if we're sitting across from each other, having a chat. I'll see you guys in the next video.